Actually, Mark, I was doing a research on trust payment nexus across the IT sector. So between the developing and developed countries. So there is a qualitative study of my MS research aims to explore how trust and payment mechanism operate across international software outsourcing relationships and focusing on the differences and similarities between developed and developed countries. That's what
Yeah.
for my academic purpose, I was doing such this. Research. So, so what about you? You are from where? I haven't heard about your intro.
Yeah.
So,
No. Yeah. No. I am here. I'm in Texas. I'm in near Austin, Texas, which is a kind of a tech hub in the United States. And there's Silicon Valley in California, and they call this Silicon Hills. But I'm from here, and I lived kind of all over. I lived in Spain, and I've lived all around the United States. And I'm now set here and working primarily in technology.
that's great to hear that. And you're working with Osama on some project or from past some certain time.
Yeah, right now we're currently working on a project that has been a development build, an application, a web application build that is going to be in kind of some phases. We're working on the MVP right now, and he and his team are getting us to that MVP, but hopefully can have a longer term relationship to enhance and build more on it as the scope increases.
That's wonderful. Let me introduce myself. My name is Haris, and I am also a IT project manager working with Usama in his company in Imcodezero. And I usually deal with the local projects. Sometime when there are a lot of projects in pipeline, Usama used to engage me on those software projects in front end and back end, whatever you people are doing in development phase. So let me start. I will just tell
That's why I've told him that we are related, so you could go casual. Don't worry about that. Okay.
yeah, he's my cousin too. He's my
I
cousin.
know.
He's my cousin too. So I'm recording your video for my academic purpose. So let's start. I will take 15 to 25 minutes, and it is I think 10 to 12 questions, unstructured questions that I'm going to ask. And
Okay.
you can let me know if you know about these questions, the answer about these questions. Uh, the ethical consideration will be upheld. Your information will be considered confidential. Only the things that are uh, d- advantages to IT sector would be taken for the research publications for my university. So, if you allow me, can I start?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Uh, you have already told me about your background, the professional experience. You are from Silicon Valley, and you are doing, you are working in a technology. So, what sort of technology? You are in software development. That's where you are working.
So currently, I work in consulting on automations and AI, and then a big part of that, obviously, is some application development projects as they surface. But a lot of times, my main focus is really implementing the AI. This project is a little bit different outside of my typical scope, but my standard projects are helping small and medium businesses integrate artificial intelligence and automations because it's so new for a lot of people, helping them navigate how to use it and what not to do, how not to use it.
That's great. And what is your general experience working with the partners or teams based in the developing countries?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I can compare it to, we do some work with developing countries, and then we have some work that we do sort of near shore in countries like Mexico, and closer to the United States. And then we have developers here as well. My experience has been very good. There is always, there's typically a big difference between, obviously, the work we do between underdeveloped and in ourselves. However, I will say typically the give obviously is from a foreign exchange rate and from a monetary need. I will say we typically tend to more and more pay higher rates to developing countries than we have in the past, because the ability with the internet and the advent of payment processing and the transfer of money and funds now compared to even 5 or 10 years ago is a lot different. It's a lot easier. So companies like Codezero are, not just your company, but multiple companies I'm seeing across even India are collecting higher rates now, because the ability to do so and the ability to compete globally has been so much further advanced. So the lines between the countries are blurring a little bit more, because access to talent via, whether it is via applications that are built around like the Philippines specifically, or Indonesia or Asia, I think they're making it a lot easier for people to get in front of other people. And so the true nature of trying to get the lowest price possible is changing, is not really as beneficial. I will say though, the rates are still definitely need to be lower, because this isn't offensive or meant to be offensive, but the challenges that come with the language challenges mean more work in terms of. I've actually been really impressed with Osama in your team, because it's not as, your language and your English and the communication is a lot better than typical. But there's a lot of challenge that comes with that globally. A lot of times with development teams that struggle to have somebody like yourself or Osama, especially, whose English is perfect. He loves the English is perfect.
So, in your opinion, what factors mostly influence the development of trust in cross-border software partnership with respect to trust factor?
Can you say that again?
Yeah, in your opinion, what are the factors while dealing in projects like development mostly influence the trust of?
Yeah, I would say the ability to confidently and verifiably display past work and references from previous customers. Online, it's a lot harder these days, because the trust factor is very low on online referral and online testimonials, but the ability to speak with and talk to somebody that has worked with the company in the past is very big. And then extending on that, the availability to do multiple projects gains trust more than anything else. Previous experience is obviously the strongest factor.
You're referring to the experience of the company or the agency. They must have to build a trust.
Yeah, exactly. Build the trust, and it's hard to take external factors and referrals unless it is from somebody very close in your ethos, in your network, that has also worked with them, is just as beneficial.
Close reference, got it. And do you conduct any background checks, references, or evaluations before engaging new vendors from developing countries?
Sometimes more than others. We didn't so much with this current project, because it started smaller and then has ballooned into a much bigger project as the client on my side, because I have clients that I'm representing for the development and partnering with Codezero, for example. But a lot of times it's just on good faith and conversations um, with the project manager.
Okay, that's
But
great.
sometimes we do. A lot of times those background checks are vetted through the technology that the company is using.
What kind of technology you are asking? You are telling about the stacks they are using in the development phase.
Come again?
Yeah. What kind of technology you are referring to? Uh,
Oh, technology like Fiverr, Upwork, other directories of talent. A lot of times the background checks are built into the directory
okay.
software.
From the
Okay,
feedback.
let me answer this for Mark. So when we started, he went to YouTube to check my channel, and he went to my site. He also went to Quora, I guess, right, to
Which one?
check, check on my reviews.
Oh yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like you can't. I don't trust online reviews for anything, because that could be Muhammad, and Muhammad down the hall. Oh,
Okay.
So this is
but
how
yeah,
Mark checked
he's
the
right.
reliability.
What he's right though. Like you have to use what we call social proof, right? There's anything is social proof, evidence online, past work. But I actually didn't have a whole lot on Codezero. You know that, Osama. I had very little.
uh,
Even there are a lot of people who used to record their videos on Google Drive, that these are our clients and they have good feedbacks about us, and they send to their clients, check our feedbacks from the European and American client. What do you see, observe about these things?
I don't really see that a whole lot as much myself, but to be completely honest, I give less and less trust in any of that now with AI. I can make 10 videos with user generated content UGC with company like HeyGen or 11 Labs or whatever. Like I don't I tend to be skeptical on any of that stuff.
Okay, then I guess you judge you the Americans and European clients. They usually judge the vendors from the communication they have, the experience they are talking to. Like me, I am having a conversation with you, so you will judge me from my communication, from my past experience, as I am saying to you.
Yeah, it has. There's a trust factor. There's kind of a trust factor that kind of comes into it, and sometimes you just have to do the work and go through it, and then decide if you're going to do it again, or or if it's not a good fit. So sometimes you just have to take a chance.
Right.
A lot of times you have to. But I think that a lot of the Fiverr isn't a great. And Osama and I talked about it today, but Fiverr isn't necessarily the best. Because there's so much noise and there's so much variance on what's available, and
yep.
so it's hard to present yourself when Fiverr. I have other partners that use Fiverr just for lead gen, but then when you actually talk to them, they are like you guys, like you have to present yourself as some way, but then when you get off, you're all of a sudden talking about 10,000, 5,000, 20,000, whatever. Like on Fiverr, the name is Fiverr, right? Everything used to be $5.
Yep.
And now,
Uh,
so now it's
tell him
full of that.
about your experience which you had with the Bangladesh guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had multiple experiences like that. You get burned all the time. Um, but it used to be okay because you could pay less and there was a risk factor, but you could, it wasn't, if I was paying, like I have a guy from Bangladesh also that I paid $250 to check all of my AI code, check the bloat, go in, refactor it, and set up on Vercel or host or whatever. And he'll do everything across the board for $250. But he's delivered and delivered and delivered, so I know he's going to deliver. I took a chance. He could have burned me just as bad, but when I asked him for things and he says stuff like, "Oh no, that's easy. I'm not. Don't worry about it. Let me just do it," and does it, you're going to work with him more. Osama does the same thing. He understands customer service enough to say, like, I'll do it 100 times. There's a direct quote from Osama, but my team, they need to sleep. It's not about. So I like working with people that understand business, and I know Osama can tell that more so than just the tech. Like, I could have somebody that is stronger coders, heavier processes, uses Jira or Confluent. It's like tickets and but they might not understand the business side of it, and they're also gonna maybe have the inability to service.
So
They might have all
basically,
this.
so basically, you are saying that the guy in Bangladesh, he delivered you all the things that you wanted, but
No,
it was not a
could not
genius.
deliver. Could not deliver. He said that he could, but then could not. And
Okay.
then, yeah, no, I think a lot of times there's people that say that they can do something, but they can't deliver to the degree that they do, but they still are demanding the money that is in escrow that they promised you, but then they blame you for not, it's it's not always. A lot of times they can't really fully deliver on the things that they overpromise.
They overpromised. That is a one of the factor. Maybe they were less experienced.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe they just wanted to get the payment, and uh, sometimes sometimes I just don't want to go in the world. I just don't want to go and fight over money and do it and get into the back and forth. I mean, they did the work, but it wasn't anywhere near where it needed to be and was. So at some point, you do understand that they took time, they did it, whatever, but it was very, very, very bad, subpar. So there's that challenge. It's like, I know you did the work, I know you tried to do what you were going to do, and so I feel an obligation to pay you for that time. But just because you spent 10 hours or 5 hours or 1 hour doing something very poorly, I'm kind of stuck paying for it. Fiverr has things in place that protect you from that, but it's to me, it's about the human side of it, right? Not the like and like Osama is the same way. I think that's why I like working with him, because he understands the human aspect of it is very different than the business aspect of it, but you have to consider both.
Okay. So that Bangladeshi guy, you have faced the payment disputes and delivery dispute with the vendors from Bangladesh. So how you handle such situation?
Well, I had to go into a dispute, but then was kind of not attacked, but kind of found myself in a really tough position where this person was really, just really aggressive about that we had the dispute, and they needed the money, and we promised the money, and they were very aggressive about collecting on the payment, which I had every right to not transfer. But in the end, it's like, you don't want to ruin your reputation. You don't want to ruin their reputation. It's like Uber driving or anything else. It's sort of all about maintaining that reputation when that's all we have across the world. And so for me, I had to make a decision. Do I want to just walk away, or do I want to say, okay, we're just going to pay you, but we're not ever working with you again? And I can't. The problem for me was that I in good faith gave them a good review before they delivered, because they asked if I could do that, and then I was an idiot for doing that, because then they had protected themselves from the reputation side, but I was vulnerable.
Okay. So then, if that was the case and that case lead to a conflict, then what was the reason that you have trusted that guy?
Oh, because I just did. Like I said before, sometimes you just have to take a chance.
Okay.
I took, when it came to even Osama and Imcodezero, I had to take a chance. There's only so much I know.
Got it. Got it. And what payment models you prefer in international collaborations like fixed price or a milestone base or hourly, and why?
Fixed milestones. So fixed price based on milestones, paid in milestones.
Okay, okay, great. So, how do you ensure the financial accountability? Is it through contracts or escrow or the phased releases?
Not well, all of the above, because the money that goes through Fiverr is essentially in escrow. Um, I prefer escrow and contracts through platforms, but when I can tell somebody is trustworthy and, you know, willing to work, like Osama said, as a friend and to get stuff done, I am willing to be more flexible. Um, I've been burned probably because I try to be too kind sometimes, but I'd rather be burned and be kind than and learn and be more skeptical down the road, I suppose. But you never really know. I become more flexible over time as you get too comfortable, but you just have to be sure when, there are bad actors out there, so it's hard to become too comfortable over time. But you just kind of have to trust. Like, if you're going to be willing to work that far away outside of the normal guardrails, it's like anything else. It's like traveling, going somewhere, anywhere around the world. Like the more you work outside the guardrails, the less guarded you're going to be. But you have to sort of, if you're going to do that, you have to trust your gut, your intuition.
Okay, so sorry, I'm cutting this, but Mark, I know that you have to go and take Molly from school. So do you have time still?
I have a couple minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
I have
See,
just six questions left. I will
Go
try
ahead.
to complete it in next 5 to 10 minutes. I will try it. So, in your experience, does trust precede reliable payment behavior, or do consistent payments build trust over time?
That's a great question. I think actions and deliverability build the trust over time more than anything. I think actions and meeting or exceeding expectations is probably the strongest way. Words go so far, right, and promises, but I think the delivering on expectations is the number one.
So, it's a trust, I think, that comes first according to your experience. If you are
Yeah.
doing the expectation as per the commitments.
Yeah, but a lot of people are no trust until it's earned. I think sometimes maybe I tend to be more trusting until it's taken away, and that's dangerous. But I've gotten this far.
Okay, so let's come to the formal contracts and the NDAs. How important are the formal contracts, NDAs, or service level agreements, SLAs, like when dealing with offshore vendors?
The higher the value of the project, the higher the production level and the exposure, the more important that they are. I think that MSAs, SOWs, contractual agreements, when you are talking about contracted entities, especially high liability companies that are going to be looked at with a lot more under a microscope, a lot more. They are way more. The more money, the higher the importance, right? The more money being exchanged, and the larger the company or the client, the more important they get. Also, when the company or the client is larger, they're going to have more legal coverage and more legal support. So a lot of times that's going to be based on the other side, right? The higher that they are going to be utilizing lawyers, the more that